हेलो दोस्तों, मैं हूं स्मिता कुमार और आप देख रहे हैं आपका अपना हेल्थ चैनल मेडिसर्कल। आज हम बच्चों के बारे में बात करने वाले हैं। जी हाँ, बच्चों की अच्छी अच्छी परवरिश करना एक बहुत ही चैलेंजिंग टास्क है। बच्चे परिवार के लिए और माँ बाप के लिए सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट होते हैं, सबसे ज़्यादा प्रीशियस होते हैं। माँ बाप हमेशा ये चाहते हैं कि उनके बच्चे हेल्दी रहें, स्ट्रांग रहें। लेकिन अच्छी परिस्थितियों में भी कई बार इन बच्चों में बिहेवियरल चेंजेस और इमोशंस में चेंजेस देखे जा रहे होते हैं। डब्ल्यूएचओ के एक स्टडी के मुताबिक इंडिया में करीब 37.24 करोड़ बच्चे हैं। होम स्कूलिंग और ऑनलाइन लर्निंग की वजह से बच्चों में भी काफ़ी हद तक हाई लेवल स्ट्रेस देखा जा रहा है। लगभग पूरा एक एकेडमिक ईयर ऑनलाइन लर्निंग और लॉकडाउन की वजह से, जो कि अब एक न्यू नॉर्मल हो गया है, उसमें कई सारे बच्चों को अफेक्ट किया है। दुनिया भर में करीब 1.38 बिलियन बच्चे इस वजह से प्रभावित हुए हैं। एक और स्टडी के मुताबिक करीब 3 से 17 साल के बच्चे, जिनमें 7.1% बच्चों में एंजाइटी डायग्नोस किया गया है, जिनकी संख्या करीब लगभग 4.4 मिलियन है। उसी तरह से 2 से 8 साल के बच्चों आयु के बच्चों में लड़कियों की तुलना में लड़कों में मेंटल, बिहेवियरल और डेवलपमेंट डिसऑर्डर्स होने की संभावना ज़्यादा देखी जा रही है। बच्चों में जो ये शारीरिक और मानसिक विकास होता है वो काफ़ी तेज़ी से हो रहा होता है। जो शारीरिक विकास में अगर कुछ परेशानी होती है, कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स होते हैं, तो उनके लक्षण हम तुरंत में देख लेते हैं और उस पर काम भी कर रहे होते हैं। उसमें डॉक्टर्स को पूछते हैं और उसको रेक्टिफाई करने की कोशिश करते हैं, उन्हें ट्रीट करने की कोशिश करते हैं। लेकिन जो मानसिक परेशानियां हैं, बहुत सारे बच्चों में कई हद तक कुछ मेंटल डिसेबिलिटीज़, मेंटल प्रॉब्लम्स, जो माइंड से रिलेटेड प्रॉब्लम्स होते हैं, वो भी देखे जा रहे होते हैं। कई बार माँ बाप इसे नज़रअंदाज करते हैं, ये सोचते हैं कि शायद समय के साथ ये ठीक हो जाए, लेकिन ये सही नहीं है। आप उन सिम्टम्स को काफ़ी ध्यान से देखें और समय रहते ही अपने मेंटल एक्सपर्ट डॉक्टर की सलाह लें, ताकि उस इंटरवेंशन से, उस डायग्नोसिस से वो बच्चा बिल्कुल पूरी तरह से बाकी बच्चों की तरह रह सके, जी सके और साथ ही साथ पूरी तरह से उस बच्चे का विकास हो सके। आज के दिन में लाइफ बहुत ही स्ट्रेसफुल है। माँ बाप के पास बच्चों के लिए ज़्यादा समय नहीं रह पाता, लेकिन फिर भी माँ बाप का ये फ़र्ज़ है कि वो बच्चों में होने वाले इस तरह के सिम्टम्स को ध्यान दें। कई तरह के ऐसे प्रॉब्लम्स हैं जैसे हाइपर एक्टिविटी, ऑटिज्म और एंजाइटी। इनके लक्षण बच्चों में काफ़ी छोटे उम्र से देखे जा रहे होते हैं। कभी कभी स्पीच डिले होता है। बच्चे के जो माइलस्टोन्स होते हैं, जो आपके पीडियाट्रिशियन आपसे शेयर करते हैं, जनरली माँ बाप बच्चे के वेट, हाइट और ये फिजिकल माइलस्टोन्स पे ध्यान देते हैं। हमें साथ ही साथ बच्चों के मेंटल माइलस्टोन्स पे भी ध्यान देना बहुत ज़रूरी है कि बच्चा आई टू आई कॉन्टैक्ट मेंटेन कर पा रहा है कि नहीं, बच्चा सोशली कैसे है। अगर वो पार्क में जा रहा है तो क्या वो दूसरे बच्चों से बात कर रहा है, क्या दूसरे बच्चों की टर्न के लिए वेट कर रहा है। ऐसी बहुत सारी चीज़ें हैं जो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, जिन्हें नज़रअंदाज करना बिल्कुल ही सही नहीं है। इसीलिए हमारा ये सीरीज़ है चिल्ड्रन मेंटल हेल्थ पे आधारित, जिसपे हमने मेंटल एक्सपर्ट्स, बहुत सारे डॉक्टर्स और इनसे बात की, उनसे जानने की कोशिश की कि बच्चों में किस तरह से ये परेशानियां हो रही हैं और उसका इलाज संभव है कि नहीं। और इसका इलाज बिल्कुल ही संभव है अगर आपने समय रहते हुए इंटरवीन किया तो आइए एक्सपर्ट से ही जानते हैं कि कौन से ऐसे चीज़ें हैं जिन पे हमें ध्यान देना चाहिए, कौन से ऐसे सिम्टम्स हैं जो हमें ध्यान रखना चाहिए और जिस पे हमें काम करना चाहिए। मेडिसर्कल आपके पास हमेशा लाता है राइट इन्फॉर्मेशन, स्ट्रेट एमिनेंट डॉक्टर्स और एक्सपर्ट्स की ज़ुबानी। तो मेडिकल स्पेशलिस्ट और साथ ही साथ जो मेंटल एक्सपर्ट्स हैं, उनसे जानते हैं और अपने बच्चों को हम लोग कैसे हेल्दी, सिर्फ फिजिकली हेल्दी नहीं, मेंटली हेल्दी और स्ट्रांग बना सकते हैं, ये देखते हैं और जानते हैं। और एक जिम्मेदार पेरेंट होने के नाते अपने बच्चों के ओवरऑल वेलबींग, बोथ फिजिकल एंड मेंटल पे पूरे की पूरी तरह से फोकस करते हैं। स्टे हेल्दी, स्टे ट्यून टू मेडिसर्कल।
According to the latest report by UNICEF, children and adolescents constitute 28% of the world's population. COVID-19 pandemic has led to short-term as well as long-term psychosocial and mental health implications in children and adolescents. Medicircle has geared towards providing measures for developing healthy coping mechanisms in children during the current crisis by speaking to mental health professionals in its exclusive series. The aim is to create understanding in adults about children's mental health and help them with constructive ideas so that they can shape the innocent minds in the best possible way in this pandemic. Hi, this is Sana Khan, and today in this initiative, we're going to speak to Kumkum Jagdish. Kumkum has been working in the field of psychology for the past 4 years. Currently, she's working as an independent consultant in various counseling centers and creates modules and facilitates a range of workshops, including self-awareness, parenting, depression, and anger management, to name a few. She's also a part of the parenting expert panel on Parentune, a website for parents. She was also a part of Project Mumbai team rendering counseling services to people across India during the lockdown. She also has her independent counseling services and helps clients with family, emotional, parenting, and child counseling. Please welcome please welcome Kumkum to Medicircle. How are you?
Thank you so much. I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
We are fine, thank you. Okay, Kumkum, there have been school closures, restricted movements of children in playgrounds, a sense of fear in elders about the uncertainty of life in general during this pandemic. What, according to you, is the impact of all this in the innocent minds of the children, and is it going to affect their outlook towards life in the long run?
Okay. So let's look at it this way first. Okay. So what children of this age, what is their what are they supposed to be? How is their development supposed to be? They are developing both physically as well as cognitively. And how are they doing this? Through play and through going to school and social interactions. This pandemic, okay, has restricted this. So what is happening is that all that energy that they were spending in developing their skills, in physical development, in social development, etc., is all restricted now.
Correct.
Right? The energy is not flowing as it has to flow. So this is causing a lot of feelings inside them, like confusion. They don't know what's happening. They're not able to express this confusion.
Right.
Okay, there is also fear of the uncertainty. They're listening, they're hearing things that their parents are saying, they're picking up things from the news. So all this is causing a lot of fear and stress. Okay, there is anger, there is irritation, because the energy is not spent properly. They are not able to understand what's happening around them. And all this is leading to some behaviors which parents must be noticing, like increase in tantrums, increase in shouting and screaming, or children are they don't want to interact with family members.
Right.
So it is sort of manifesting in their behavior, and you're looking at a lot of unwanted behaviors from the children. So it is important, but the good thing is these things we can teach the children to cope with these things in an effective manner. And this we can do if as parents we first become aware of what is the behavior of the child, what is leading to this behavior. Okay, not personalizing it and thinking that this is something to do with my parenting technique, or the child is just behaving too pricey, right? So it is important as parents to become aware of why is this behavior happening, what are the thoughts and what are the feelings of the child right now, because it's going to be different because of the pandemic, right? So awareness is very important. Once this awareness is there, then we can accept it, right? So then when you accept it, you're looking at it in a very objective manner, and then you are able to address it with better coping strategies.
Correct.
So though it may be help, it may be creating some sort of mental concern in the child because they're not able to spend this energy. However, as parents we can help them in dealing with these issues more effectively and in a positive manner.
Right. So, Kumkum, how would online classes that we see now, there's only one option that is left with the children. So, how would these online classes impact the way children perceive studies? Education only through the online mode? Is it good or bad for their mental health? Can you please speak up on the
So when you're looking at online classes, let's not go into whether is it good or whether is it bad. Okay, what is important is that just like in many areas right now in our lives, online, the internet, the web is very important. Right? In case there was no internet, online classes would not have happened. And that means children would have lost out on whatever education they're getting now. Even on that limited education that they're getting now, they would have lost out on it, right? So instead of looking at whether it is good or bad, let's look at that anything in life, any situation, there are pros and there are cons.
Correct.
Right? There are limitations to everything. So what is important for us to understand as parents is that fine, their education has not come to a standstill. Yes, it is difficult for children to do an online session. It is not as as a one-on-one face-to-face session. There is a lot of difference because the personal touch is not there.
Right.
The child is not able to interact with their friends. The child is not able to interact with the teachers, which is a huge loss. But at the same time, the online medium is helping them to connect in some percentage. A certain percentage of connection is happening with teachers, with friends, right?
Mhm.
So what we need to do as parents is to understand what are the difficulties our child is facing in the online medium. And once we understand that, and how can we understand this? By questioning them, by asking them, not judging them and criticizing them and telling them, sit down, sit for an hour, look at your teacher, look at what your teacher is saying. That is difficult. It's difficult for
Right.
us also to sit in an online medium and listen to somebody
Correct.
for an hour. So let's not judge our children, but make it easier on our children. So what do I mean by that? So understand that if your child is not able to sit for an hour, maybe the child does not have that much of the attention span, and it is normal. There's
That's
nothing
true.
wrong with not being able to sit for an hour. Maybe
Right.
usually a child, the attention span is 15 minutes to 20 minutes, and teachers are also aware of this. So teachers are also catering to their education, keeping in mind how to keep the child's interest and attention on an online mode, an online medium. So it is very important for us to not get so worked up as parents that, oh my God, education is not happening on the online mode, but be more open to it and be more relaxed about it. If your child cannot sit for 40 minutes, it is okay. Don't force him to do that, him or her to do that. But what you can do is understand what is making the child, not sit for so long. Is it that the class is boring or the attention span itself is less? And then it is important to talk to the teacher, communicate to the teacher, and tell the teacher what the difficulties that you are facing, so that the teacher will be able to sort of address that difficulty during the online class. So if she knows that a
Correct.
child is not able to sit for 20 minutes, then the teacher can, has methods and ways of getting the child interested. So the child
Right.
will pay more attention. Then look at any external factors that is distracting the child. So as a parent, can you cut down on those external factors that are distracting the child? For example, is the child sitting in the middle of the room where people are walking about? So then the child is not able to concentrate. Or is the child playing on video games when the class is happening? Then the child is not able to concentrate. So
Correct.
what do you do as a parent? You can draw some boundaries, draw some rules, tell the child that video games can happen at this time to this time during class, or you concentrate on class, or keep one side of the room, this space, this side in the room is study side, so it is only used for study time. This side is play time, so when you're sitting here you can play. So the brain also sort of knows where to draw those boundaries.
Correct.
So as parents, so it is nothing wrong, bad or good, but we need to adjust to the situation and see how best we can work around it.
Very true. So, Kumkum, how can adults find advantage in adversity and use these tough times to frame children's mindset in such a way that they can learn an everlasting lesson of positivity to deal with the life's tough situations that we're facing right now?
Yeah. So see, so in the beginning, I spoke about awareness, becoming aware of the situation, and then
Mm.
accepting the situation. So it is similar to that, right? So if supposing your child has a stomach ache, what are you going to do? You're going to first become aware that, okay, there is something hurting my child because my child is crying or my child is not eating properly, and then you're going to ask the child, what happened? Why are you in this mood? Why are you not eating? Okay, and the child will tell you, I have a stomach ache, I'm not feeling well. and then you will accept it. Fine, something is wrong with my child. So now you will look at it objectively. You're not going to personalize it and say, oh my god, my child is acting up, and how dare he cannot, how can he not fall, how can he fall sick? Or you're not going to say, oh my god, my parenting techniques are so bad that my child has fallen sick. So you're not going to blame yourself, and you're not going to blame the child or judge and criticize the child.
Correct. It's a
So
situation.
yes, yeah,
Right.
you're going to, yeah, it's going to, so awareness and acceptance will make you look at the situation more objectively in nature. So once you look at it objectively, then you know how to address it. So then you're going to tell the child, okay, hang on, maybe you have indigestion, I'll give you a Digene, or let's go to the doctor, and you will take the corrective actions. So that is an effective coping strategy. So similarly, in this situation, parents can start instilling effective and developing themselves the effective coping strategies. Strategy number 1 is communication.
Right.
Okay, don't just assume that my child is acting up, or I'm not good enough, or don't personalize anything. The minute you're not able to understand something, or there's some anger, or just communicate that to the child. Ask the child, what is making you behave in such a manner. Also remember that don't equate the behavior to the child, right? Don't say that you are bad, or you are not being very helpful. You say that your behavior is not very acceptable, or your behavior is not very helpful. So you communicate to the child, first of all, what is in your head or how you are feeling. So when you are communicating your feelings, then the child understands how to communicate his or her feeling.
Correct.
Right? Yeah. So communication is important. The second thing on communication is, when we communicate with our children, we are always telling them what not to do. So it is important to tell them what to do. So if I tell you, close your eyes and do not think of an elephant, the first thing you will do is think of an elephant.
Think about an elephant. Correct.
Yeah. So start just telling them, keep your books on the table. Sit down for your work. Jump on the floor. If your child is jumping on the sofa and you don't want him to jump on the floor, so jump on the floor, right? Or calm down. Okay. So this is one way. So communication is very important and then effective for a parent. And praising the child. Praise the child with every good thing that the child does. We're always scolding them for something that they don't do, but we don't praise them for something that they do. So thank you for helping me with the vessels. Thank you for sitting in class for 20 minutes and paying attention to the teacher. Instead of scolding them for the 20 minutes they did not pay attention, praise them for the 20 minutes they did pay attention. So what you're doing here is you're building the self-esteem and self-confidence of the child. What is happening right now, the self-esteem and self-confidence of the child is coming down because they're not able to play, they're not able to socialize, they're not able to build those skills of communication, leadership skills, team building skills, acquire knowledge, which they would do in school, right? So build their self-confidence and self-esteem by praising them, by telling them what to do, by showing them what to do. So in order to do that, you need to set routines, set to-do lists, but let them do it. You don't do it for them. Give them that responsibility.
Right.
A to-do list or routine will help your child look at what they have to do. So even if they are having some negative thoughts, they're having some confusion in them, when they know what they need to do, they will immediately focus on the here and the now rather than the future. Okay, so set rules and routines for yourself and your child, so you're both doing it together, and let your child set it for themselves. That again gives them that responsibility, that sense of independence, and that increases the confidence and self-esteem. Third is, at this particular stage, they're not doing the play that they're supposed to do. They're not interacting socially as they have to. So create an environment of play for them at home.
Right.
Family time, board games. Okay, you can cook together, you can do hobbies together, right? For any age group. Or if it's a teenager, then ask them for their opinion, have a discussion on what's happening around them.
Right, something that creates a better understanding and gives a better bonding between the parent-child relationship. That makes them feel secure and happy inside the house. because they're already stuck and they have no social contacts with their friends, their family members, their relatives, their grandparents. So I'm sure this thing that you're talking is very obvious, that parents should have, they have to focus on these areas.
Yes. And then now parents may be thinking, oh my God, I'm a working mother, I'm a working father. How can I spend so much time with them, right? How can I do these things? The important thing here is not the quantity of time that you're spending, but the quality of time that you're spending. So even if it is like you're giving them half an hour at the end of the day, that half an hour is for them, with complete attention to what they are saying, what they are doing, maintaining an eye contact. Keep your phones away, keep your laptops away, and just spend that half an hour with them, discussing how you spent your day at work, discussing how their day was. So quality of time is more important than quantity of
time.
time. So yeah, these are some of the things that parents can do so to make this lockdown a better, time for both of them. You can go through your photo albums. You can talk about your childhood with them. And of course, screen time is increasing right now with children. So set screen timetables for the screen. Okay, and all of you keep your screens away at that time. Not just the child, you also, so that you're spending that time with your child, and you're having that family time. Connect with your family members, your extended family members, so that they are also improving and sharpening their communication skills, their social skills, which is right now missing. Allow your children to talk with their friends. They can have like a WhatsApp chat, or they can have a Zoom meet, okay, or a Google meet, whatever, but allow them to do it at least once a week or twice a week, and remind them, hey, you didn't connect with your friend today, why don't you call this friend? Why don't or you as a parent can organize some fun party time online, time with them. Or there are these books that you can share, which are available online, where you can just read to them. If they are younger children, you can have a Zoom meeting where you can have a mother child sort of session where you're reading to each other, or playing some sort of a memory game, or Ludo, online Ludo. Or, as parents, you will have to consciously initiate these things
and utilize the situation in a better way, right?
Of course, yeah. So these are some of the tips that I would give you, like where you can take this as a pulse. Where then, when the child comes out of this, the child is looking at all the amazing memories of all the time that you spent with them, or that the creative things that they did, or the extra things that they learned, which is not just related to study.